Hi, welcome to my video on basic chords and chord changes. What I was playing there was a basic progression in the key of E using three chords, E, A, and B7. And if you know anything about theory, you would know that the E chord in the key of E is the 1 chord, the A chord is the 4 chord, and the B7 chord is the 5 chord. So that's what we're going to play in this lesson. I'm going to show you how to play each chord, and then I'm going to show you some simple ways to get from one chord to another. So let's get going. The first chord that we're going to look at is the E chord. And if you looked at any of my other videos, you have probably seen the E7 chord, which looks like this. And the E chord is just putting a finger on the 4th string, the 2nd fret, and getting that. So once you have some of these other shapes down, like the E7 or the A minor, this is a pretty similar chord. But what it is my index finger is on the 3rd string 1st fret. My middle finger is on the 5th string 2nd fret. And my ring finger is on the 4th string 2nd fret. And I get this sound. I'm just going to strum down all 6 strings. It has a real nice full sound to it. So that's a real solid chord, and a lot of blues tunes are in the key of E. They really take advantage of this low E note right there. So that's the E chord. A couple of the places where you need to watch are down on the 1st string. Just make sure you're clearing the string with this area of your hand. And really, since you don't have to split too many strings, it's not as difficult as some of the other chords. Probably the biggest thing is just trying to get that stretch and get down in there like that. My thumb is basically in between the 1st and 2nd frets. Usually when I play that, I don't have to move my thumb around on any of these other chords that we're going to be showing. Other than the B7, we kind of pivot on it a little bit, but we don't have to do anything radical with our thumb. So that's the E chord. And then the next chord is the A chord. And to get there from the E chord, I like to just pick these 2 fingers up and then slide my index finger up to the 3rd string 2nd fret. And then these 2 fingers are just going to go around it. So I've showed the A chord in one of my other videos, so you can check that one out and get into a little bit more detail. But I like it in this case because I can just slide from that E chord right up to it. So that's what you want to take out of this if you already know the chord. So E to A. And I'm strumming from the 5th string down on that A chord. I don't want to use this E string right now, even though at times it works well as an alternating bass. If I wanted to strum something like, if I wanted to do something like that, then I would use the 6th string. But if I'm just strumming it, I usually leave it out. So that's the A chord. And then the last chord is the B7, and I'm going to show this to you as if I was coming to it from the E chord, which is what we're doing in this progression that I'm going to be giving you at the end here. So out of the E chord, again, I'm going to leave my middle finger right where it is, and then put my index finger on the 4th string 1st fret, and then my ring finger goes on the 3rd string 2nd fret, and then my little finger comes way down here and plays the 1st string 2nd fret. And I'm going to be playing the 2nd string open, and also the, I guess that's the only one that's open, but you do have to split the 4th string with your middle and ring fingers so that you can get this note to ring out. So that can be a little bit tricky. So the whole chord sounds like this, and I'm strumming from the 5th string down. And this is going to be a little tricky. This chord's not really easy. For one thing, you've got to use all 4 fingers, so if you haven't used your little finger before, you got that to deal with. And just be patient with it and it'll come around. The other areas that tend to give people problems is that they don't come straight enough in like this, and their fingers tend to lay over and then mute the strings underneath them. So you just have to get in pretty straight to make sure you clear that. And dropping your thumb up or down a little bit, I wouldn't go too much, but a little adjustment there sometimes will help get that. So that's the B7. Okay, once you get those chords under your fingers, then you're going to want to put them into a progression. And what I was playing at the beginning of this video was a 1-4-5 progression in the key of E, and I just played one measure of E, then one measure of A, one measure of E again, and then B7. So that's pretty much it, and then I just repeated that. So I'm going to go out and play that through a few times, and then keep it really slow when you're playing it. Try to focus on the connection between the chords. So try to keep from your A chord to your E chord, try to keep that in tempo. Then again, the E to the B7, just try to keep those so that they're on a steady tempo. So in other words, you're not doing something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You want to just keep the tempo really even. So I'll go ahead and play this through a few times, and I'll see you in the next video.